Welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken. This is episode 38 since we started streaming, way back at the beginning of the last dungeon. Last time, you guys were dealing with the aftermath of the two dragons, the blue and the black, that visited the city of Tuka. You had faced down Shisharin, and Elsameth had appeared and called her away, allowing the city a moment of reprieve. You performed some healing, and you returned the items that you'd taken from the cart to Stone and his guards. He then told you that he would have you meet with the city's High Council later on.
Tristan, This is not Tuesday.
You're correct. It is not Tuesday. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling conflict on Tuesday, so we moved this week's game to Wednesday.
It was posted and mentioned.
We should be... I posted about it on Twitter. We should be back to Tuesdays next week.
Video as well, I thought.
Huh?
It's fine to mention it in the video as well, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. Thank you. After you spoke with Stone and got some healing, the group split up into a few different groups. Cyrus and, unbeknownst to him, Vendar were going about and helping the guards secure the buildings close to the center of town using Cyrus's wall of stone. Raiken went to the Temple of Cord to inform the adherents of Cord that he had found the legendary armor and prevented its destruction. They all challenged him, and he fought for a long time.
Yeah.
Jebel had split off to try and locate Dusty, the leader of the city's faction of the Platinum Sentinels. But as far as his searching has gone, none of the guards that he's talked to has yet reacted in a way that lets on that they know who Dusty is. And now one has caused him to question whether or not Dusty made it inside the barrier before the dragon showed up. The rest returned to the Temple of Ione with Nalia, who was having a panic attack in the wake of taking on what is effectively an immortal, and realizing just how dangerous a decision that had been.
It's fine though, she had a teddy bear.
Yes, Nalia did become temporarily her teddy bear. And then they actually got to start to connect a little better than they had in the past, which was nice. And so I wanted to apologize to Thomas because after you had talked to the one guard about Dusty, you had declared going back into the temple. And I had intended to allow you to appear during that scene, but things got kind of caught up and emotional, and I forgot, so I am sorry. I wanted to give you a chance to appear. I think at this point it would be after Nalia has gotten a hold of herself a little bit and is now talking things out with Leah. They're discussing past traumas. Was there anything in particular you wanted to share with the group to start things off?
Me or Leah?
You.
God, what last thing? So what did I just witness?
So, the setup is that you had talked to one of the guards outside the Temple of Ione about Dusty, who didn't have any information for you, but did offer to help you look for him, and suggested that he might have been outside the barrier when the dragon attacked, which seemed to worry Jebel. After talking to him and dismissing yourself from his presence, Jebel went back into the Temple of Ione and took some time to find the rest of the group among the stacks. since they were deep inside. So by the time you reached the group, they had already been talking for several minutes, and it's very clear that what you can see, rather, is at this there's this long reading table here. Laramendis is seated in a chair that is turned out away from the table somewhat. And Dahlia is kneeling on the floor in front of him with her arms wrapped around Leah, and they seem to be discussing something that is very emotional. Like, you can feel the emotional tension here. You can hear that there is wavering in the voices as they talk, as there's uneven breathing, and you can also feel the discomfort of the men around you. Most especially Yukikaze, who has his face firmly planted in a book with his back to the group over here. And I know you're not here. Oh, Cyrus. Okay. And
Vendar could be here. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Vendar's wherever he wants him to be. Nobody else will know.
Kalimdar and Naravar are off, like, perusing books elsewhere. So it looks like there has been an emotional scene that you are now walking in on, that people outside of Malia and Leah are trying to distance themselves from.
Sorry if I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to get Chrome to open.
Is there any of that you need repeated?
No, I heard it all.
Okay.
So I missed the actual conversation. I just...
You missed the breakdown, effectively. At this point, Leah and Nalia are talking in low voices, and what you're hearing coming out of this is a lot of Nalia apologizing for how she treated Leah before, and talking about how she hadn't realized that one as young as Leah might have comparable or similar traumas to Nalia herself. Something that she had just sort of... She seems to be coming to grips with the idea that this had been something she dismissed out of hand, and she's trying to make up for it, at least with words. Like, that's the part of the conversation you come in at. And I believe, Leah, you had been accepting these apologies and being... what's the word I'm looking for? Making excuses for her.
Yeah.
Apologizing for her?
What? No? Have I? I honestly have no idea. No, she's doing... Yeah. Accepting it, yeah.
Accepting the apology and confirming, as you had been starting to give pieces of the story as Nalia was asking for them, explaining some of Leah's traumas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, emotionally tense. The air is thick. Jebel.
And I wander in.
Yup. You're small and quiet, and people don't seem to immediately notice you.
Hey. Does anyone know if Dusty survived?
I haven't seen him. I can send to him if we want to see if he is still around.
That might be a good idea.
Nalia is going to sniffle and straighten up, and, standing over you, Leah, she's going to say, I think we can continue this later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Now then, she turns towards you, Jebel, and you can see that her eyes are red. She says, "Remind me who's Dusty."
I look to Laraminthus and ask, does she know who he is?
I am unaware of their acquaintance. He is a dragonborn who seems to lead at least some cell of. Sam is forgetting the name.
The Platinum Sentinels.
That's the one. Of a group that refer to themselves as the Platinum Sentinels. We had been speaking with him, which led us to the information about the imminent arrival of Shisharan before we had been jumped, when we left to go inform others of what we found out.
Okay. Are there any other, shadowy groups out of myth and lore that you've recently been interacting with I should know about? You've got the true heirs of magic and the Platinum Sentinels, neither of whom are supposed to actually exist. Anyone else?
I rolled an 8 on die. I don't think there's anyone else. But if there is, it slips my mind. No, that should be it. So, what do I know about the Platinum Sentinels, then, if that's her reaction to the name? I guess my 8 on die.
You know that, like with the true heirs of magic, there are ghost stories, whispers of a secret society looking out for the best interest of the people by making sure that the children of Tiamat never see the light of day again. But who they are, the means they use, whether or not they're real, was always a matter of scholarly debate.
It's also always possible that some other group has just taken that name because they felt their purpose lined up enough with the rumors of some group. That would be interesting, actually.
I mean,
I start to like. So he says that,
yeah,
and then starts to like look over at the stacks a little bit. Distracted.
I think it bears mentioning that, it would be a popular presupposition by other scholars that Shagrazir would have been one of the original founding members of the organization, given that he was the last known person to challenge one of the children of Tiamat. But, of course, there is not proof or evidence of this, at least none sufficient, that it has not remained a matter of debate. But again, a lot of the world, the parts of the world that didn't simply forget that the children of Tiamat existed, mostly believed them to be, bedtime stories to scare children. Like with Bala, as you discovered before. They've been gone 1,000 years with, nothing in the world to suggest that there was anything to even wonder at about them, so most assume they never existed or were figments of the past, a world before now, The upheld traditions in the Temple of Bahamut remind people of them and the sacrifices of those made before, but there was never a "and beware they're coming again" line in any of the sermons.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, in places where you might hear the "beware they're coming again," those are the kinds of places where you might also hear, well, it won't happen because the Platinum Sentinels are watching out for us. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. That is what you know. Lucky you, you get to put so many scholarly debates to rest.
I mean, we gotta find the fuckers again.
The scholars? Or...
And then you gotta just, like, cart their asses over here and lock them in a room. I can attempt to send to Dusty, though, to see if he had managed any kind of successful evacuation. I don't know if the dragon's focus had solely been on the inside of the city, or if people who had been attempting to flee also would have been encountered.
We were informed that departure from the city by boat would not be wise. And that was before we were informed that the harbor had come under attack by the dragon. There's a lot of mouse clicking going on. So, I think that there is a significant amount of damage to many portions of the city, including ways out. But it seems your friend is looking for this Dusty, so you should try that.
Is there any message in particular you wish me to convey, Jebel, or is this merely to find out where he is and if we need to meet up again?
Thomas?
He's muted.
Okay. In the absence of an answer to that question, and he's gone. Cool.
And now the
Also-
absence of a Jebel.
And
Also timed out.
Seems that way. Okay. So, shall I... There's other groups I can deal with in the meantime, shall I?
Don't
Seems
see why not.
reasonable.
Okay. Cool. Let's grab you two. Come on, we're going on a magical journey. So, for you, Cyrus, a few guards will have come back to the Temple of Ione and identified you, and informed you that you would be given limited magical freedom for the sole purpose, the express purpose, of helping them with repairs of high priority in the wake of the dragon attack. And they would be basically leading you, escorting you to locations that have important-looking buildings that have been obviously damaged by acid, and instructing you where to place stone and what it should look like. And they always seem a bit tense, and as you cast, they seem very distrustful and hold their weapons. But after each successful one, they thank you and move on to the next one. I believe you are incapable of noticing Vendar.
That is correct. I can only see him if he wants me to see him.
So, Vendar, just tell me, what is it that you do as you follow him about, and sneak from spot to spot around him so that he never notices you? While only every now and then does anybody else in the vicinity notice you, and just give quizzical looks.
I'm just there.
I mean, most people can't notice you, so it's really only really occasional that somebody actually seems to look at you, and you can see the question "what" on their lips.
Well, after a while, after we've been doing this for a while, and I'll just clap after he's finished with one of them and be like, "Good job."
Okay.
Cord's not gonna smite you.
Where'd you come from?
The spears are going to quickly turn on you. And then you're going to hear more applause that surprise you, Vendar.
Ooh.
And the spears turn once again. Did I misplace... Did I ever have? I don't even have that many tokens to go through. It's like, did I have a crate? Why is there not one in here? I would have sworn. Darn. I don't see a good one. I thought I had one, but it seems to have run off on me. Unless... Hang on, I need to check something. See if I left it down here. Nope, none of those. I left so many tokens around. It's just like, you, get out of here. You're not in the city anymore. Should I leave it over here? No. Did I leave it here? No. That's the problem. So apparently I never saved her token and put it into the right folder. It'd make my life so much easier if I would do the things I'm supposed to do. Okay, well, instead, we're gonna temporarily... I'm sorry. No, wait, that won't work. It won't work. Okay. Well, we're just gonna borrow this token for a moment. And so, very close at hand, behind you, Vendar, you're going to realize that your friend Lynn is standing there applauding you. And she gives you this half-cocked smile and says, "Yes, it seems this is a good use of your skills as a thief, to tease your friends."
Didn't really have anything better to do.
Well,
What do you have to?
are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
This one was happening about the city looking for things that were lost, so that she could return them, of course. And she spotted you. She will admit, this one is glad to see that you are still alive.
Yeah, it was close. We went out there and fought the dragon. Glad to see her again too.
You did what?
Yeah, we went and did the dumbest thing we possibly could. And
Bird breathe.
I must agree, it does not seem like the most...
we won though, right? It left. Didn't kill us.
This one did notice that the dragon left. She did not realize it was because of your efforts. You are a completely insane human, you know this, Vendar.
Oh yeah.
What
That's
do
one way
you
of putting
plan
it.
to do now?
I'm not sure where next step is. Maybe the Underdark? Maybe the Feywild? I don't know. We got all sorts of shit we gotta go do.
And each time I ask questions, you reach new levels of insanity. What could
Yep.
possibly interest you in the Underdark?
Oh, the drow stole some ancient artifacts that we need to go get.
Stealing? Interesting. And these ancient artifacts, they would be very valuable, yes?
They would be.
Interesting. And, where must you go to do this thing?
Don't know exactly. Very deep into the Underdark. Don't think it's going to be something you can just go steal.
This one could always hope. Well, if you ever need anything stolen, or acquired, I am told is the more professional term for it, Lynn would be happy to help you.
It's good to know.
This one is not certain she did a proper job thanking you the other night for what you did. She was very surprised to see you. This
I
one
couldn't
is...
just let them beat you.
Well, this one is grateful for what you did. She would likely not have her life still, had it not been for you.
You're welcome. I was happy I could help.
Would you tell this one something honestly?
Sure.
Is it safe to remain here, in Duka?
I wouldn't. We don't know when exactly, but it is very likely that the dragon will come back. Don't go spreading that around, though.
The guards are like, you can hear the leather of their gloves tighten around the hafts of their spears.
Vendar, I'm saying this mentally. You might not want to go spreading that around either, because, panic and all that.
It's a private conversation.
Private conversation had 5 feet away.
Yeah, real private there, buddy.
She's going to, like...
One of the guards turns around, sufficiently chastened.
Just try and chasten one of these guards. She's going to slide up very close to you, like, rubbing up against you, and say, but where can this one go that would be safe?
Oh no. That was out loud. I'm gonna back up.
You actually do see her, like, lean out, so you just catch a glimpse of one of her green-yellow eyes, and she winks at you. Cyrus.
Oh, great. Just another cat. That's what
Now, safety's a hard thing in this world.
Indeed. And if this one wanted to leave the city, how could she do it? All the boats have been sunk. The harbor is closed.
That is true.
Vendar, you must know some way that this one could escape such a cruel fate.
I'll look around and make sure I'm quiet this time. I do happen to know a few people with some ability to teleport.
Oh god.
Don't tell them specifically what it is. This is, again, mental communication.
Really?
I think that the telepathic bond is probably... Is it still up?
As far as I'm aware, it was cast like at the start of the fight. It's, what, 8 hours?
Telepathic one is 1 hour.
Yeah, it's just 1 hour.
It's over at this point.
Oh, well, then never mind. I'll keep an eye shut then.
That could work. Can you introduce me to your friends? And she, like, runs the back of her hand down your cheek.
Alright, here, come with me.
Yay!
I'll go bring her to the Mages Guild to Lara and stuff.
You go to the
So
Mages
this-
Guild. There is
this
no
is gonna
Mages
go
Guild,
well.
and Lara Mendes is not there.
I go to wherever Lara is.
Okay. Last you knew, they were
Wherever
in the
I
Temple
left
of
them.
Ione.
That one, the Temple of Ione.
Okay. That'll be fun. It'll be fun. This is a good time. It's a fun time. Everybody's going to have a good time. Alright, quickly, let's deal with it for a moment with Raiken, so everybody's getting some time here. So, at the end of that hour, you are exhausted, Raiken. You have been fighting pretty much non-stop against, like, 80 different contenders. And finally, Kurag, the half-orc, the elder gentleman that you met, puts a hand on your shoulder and pulls you away and tells you you should stop for your own safety, and insists that you will dine with him tonight. Now,
Very well.
And he seems pleased by your response. I will remind you that Raiken does know that Stone had been adamant about the group meeting with the High Council, and you don't know when or where.
Let's see. Does this cross his mind? Ah, crap. I guess it does. Got an 18 on die. The one time weren't supposed to roll high.
Make someone come get you. So Kurag begins leading you over to to the side of the temple where he has some provisions set up, some cushions, and invites you to meditate with him.
And I will join.
Okay. This is meditation. It's quiet, and you do relax, and you can feel your body recuperating for, if you do it for an hour, it'll be a short rest.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you've remembered what you have to do, but you're not going to inform him. Just so that I'm clear.
I mean, no, I'll let him know before we meditate that I am expecting to have to meet up later, but I don't know when. So
Well,
things
who are
might
you
be cut
meeting up
short.
with, lad?
Stone.
When you say Stone, you wouldn't happen to mean Councilman Stone, would you?
Yes, that's the one. Is there a problem?
Well, I don't know. Is there? I don't usually have dealings with the council. I spend most of my time here in the temple. Do they want something of the Temple of Cord? Does this have to do with the armor?
No, it's with my group that I'm traveling with.
What kind of trouble are you getting up to, lad?
Oh, just adventuring, trying to save the world. Same old, same old.
Those are some pretty lofty goals, even for a follower of Cord. I am certain it leads you to many a good fight, though.
Well, yes, as a follower of Cord, you should always strive for the highest honor.
I can tell you right now, though, what I've heard of Councilman Stone, though, is he's a tight ass, and you do not want to keep the man waiting.
Yes, which is why once I get knowledge of the meeting that I must take my leave. He's not very fond of our group, but he knows that he has to deal with us.
Not fond of you. What did you do to him? Did you cast magic in his presence?
I can't remember. Did we actually cast magic, or did we?
Not in his presence directly.
Okay.
Well,
Some other guards.
No, there was when we first came to the city, Leah cast Speak with Animals, and he was like, "Don't do that," and then and then that stopped.
Like,
Because he was like, you don't know, but you can't do that.
yeah, we've cast some magic. We've left some.
That's not why he doesn't like us.
I'm glad you
Because that was a
remembered
reasonable
that.
mistake.
We've left some items around that maybe we shouldn't have.
Got him drunk.
Items, like, besides
Indeed,
the armor
right.
of Cord, are they magic?
Kind of.
So that would probably be a part of why he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
You understand that he's the leader of the MCED, right?
The MCED.
The Magical Contraband Enforcement Division?
Oh, that's why he took everything from us.
Ah, so you felt the long arm of the law already.
Yeah, we're hoping we can get it back.
I wouldn't count on that. But I wish you luck all the same. It sounds like you've got some important things to do.
Yeah, so we might have to have a rain check on that feast of ours.
Meager though it may have been, it would have been a good meal to share with a fellow follower of Cord. So how will you be obtaining this knowledge of when your meeting is?
It's a good question.
My wizard wastes a spell slot, like I always do.
Yeah, I got a wizard that can send for me.
That's rather convenient.
It's most disease.
Yeah, it helps to have someone like that get word around when we're separated.
Huh. Well, that must be real useful for when fights break out. You can gather everyone up real quick. Coordinate.
Oh yes, he usually casts a spell so we can telepath to each other.
That's fascinating. I don't think I can do that. You see him, like, pondering. Can I?
Oh, neither can I.
Oh, well. Ours is to fight. Let others worry about the logistics beyond it.
You're speaking my language.
We're both speaking common, it's true.
It's a figure of speech.
I know, boy. Don't you know a joke when you hear it?
It was one that went over my head, I guess.
Well, sorry for that. Anyway, you're welcome to stay and meditate with me as long as you're able.
Yes, I will do so.
It does my heart and body good to see that armor again, to know it isn't lost. A great many of us were very worried about what might come if it wasn't found. You're giving a lot of people a lot of hope, boy.
It almost wasn't found in time.
Well, I certainly don't feel I need to know those details.
All you need to know is that it will be around for a lot longer.
Well, hopefully you'll be there to use it too. Yeah.
Indeed.
Now shut up. I'm trying to concentrate on my meditation.
Oh.
But that's so not necessary. Just like cracks one eye open. Have you ever done this before, lad?
No, I don't normally meditate.
Just do what I do.
Alright,
Too peaceful for that follower of Cord.
He tries to do what he does. He's not like sitting in like some weird position.
Make a performance check.
He's just seated with his legs crossed and seems to, has his eyes closed and looks very like he's let all of his muscles relax. His hands are in his lap and his shoulders are slumped. And he's just breathing very slowly.
A 20 on performance. So
okay,
I think I can match
you
what he
imitate him very well. You feel none of the relaxation that he apparently does because you are focusing so hard on becoming a simulacrum of him.
It takes a lot of effort to be this relaxed.
I imagine he's just like opening one eye every once in a while, make sure he's as close as possible.
I mean, luckily
Shifting
the other
like
man
a
has his eyes closed the whole time. He can just stare daggers at him.
Well,
We'll never know.
He'll know.
But other people might notice. It's not for him, it's for the other people that are around.
Uh-huh.
There's the one apprentice that's sweeping, just like staring slack-jawed at Raiken. The broom isn't touching the ground.
It is the least relaxing meditation I have ever witnessed. So, the rest of you, as things seem to be... oh, did I get Jubble back?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know what happened earlier.
Oh, my internet's going all over the
Fun.
place tonight.
Fun. So, I skipped away to deal with other things when we lost you. But, now that you're back, you had just asked to... if anyone knew where Dusty was.
I remember Laramendas offered to, or said that he could send.
Yes,
to
and
find
then
out?
he had asked you what you wanted sent. Like, if there was any particular message you wanted conveyed.
Okay. Just find out if he's still alive. I imagine if he answers you, that means yes. And also, does he know the name of that elf, the mind-reading elf that he was with? Because he stole my money, and I want it back.
Okay. Allow me to construct the message, and then spend a 4th level spell slot.
Fun!
Yukikaze will like kind of slightly sneak in and say, "Can you also say my money too, please?"
I will inquire as to the whereabouts of this elf
And his name.
and his name, the personal details, his entire backstory, 25 words or less.
It was a lot of money.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him this part, but I still want to punch him in the face.
I will refrain from spending my words telling Dusty that you want to punch this crook in the face.
How much money did you have on you? Also, well, it's not over there. Never mind.
Let's just say he's gonna be sitting pretty for a while.
He got my life savings, and now he's gonna be living on it.
I mean, we're adventurers. It's kind of, occupational hazard.
Living well or losing it?
Losing it to some crook.
I'm not a crook.
Yes, you are, Nixon. There's all this shade being thrown at Vendar.
What?
What shade, huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Where? What are you talking about?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We're not throwing shade. We're just, stating fact. Like someone needs to stop thinking with his dick.
I'm looking at the Shenanigans channel. That's shade.
This is my intended message.
Okay.
Is it sufficient? I suppose for the benefit of the audio, I should actually just read it instead of just having it in the chat. This is Laramendas. Wish to check in on you and Platinum Sentinels after attack at Temple of Ione. Gnome desired name of mind-reading elf.
It's very succinct.
Perfect. Excuse me.
Was there
No.
more that you wished to convey, Jebel?
No, that should be fine.
It's been a while since I managed to get one so perfectly in 25 words. I sent. Spending a 4th level spell slot. My last 4th level spell slot, by the way.
That's
Next
nice.
sending is a 5th level.
Nice.
When pressing
least you
enter
still
on the
have-
keyboard is the most satisfying thing in the world.
At least you still have spell slots.
Spent all mine on making stone.
I spent all mine healing people.
Show off.
I spent some of mine teleporting, but it's back already.
Nice.
Shut up.
Shaking their head. Warlocks.
Or like bullcrap.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I'm gonna go drink while this typing
12,
happens.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so I'm just going to. Leah's here, is she? She's.
Yeah. I can. Is Nadia still there? Or has she left?
I think all of us are still there.
I believe she's still there.
Yes, Nelia is still there. She has released Leah and has been regaining composure over time. Mostly through distracting herself with the more scholarly nature of the questions that have been going about.
Nadia is fiddling with the teddy bear. She seems to be deep in thought. Hasn't been paying attention to any of the conversation at all.
Ah, okay. And so because that's just a 6-second thing, Larry, you get this back within a few extra seconds.
He has responded, "Hello. A detachment is with me east of the city now, seeking former burial site of Shasharan. Scale may be there. Recovery is paramount. Good luck." So it seems that at least some amount of his group managed to make it out of the city. I am curious if they managed to get in touch with any of the other cells.
You could ask.
I mean, I could. I suppose informing him of Elsamenth is probably useful.
Could be.
So I don't know if he left someone who would send back to him in the city.
For some reason, I feel like his response would be, "Great Scott!" Even though that was not his personality.
Yeah, that was very much not what he, like, at least felt to me like.
I'll speak up for the message. It's like, do you think they need help?
In finding the burial site? So I think that they have a better chance of that than us.
That's true.
Acquiring the scale from there, I don't think we would benefit them in any way by being there. And I would hope that they can hold their own against the fauna of the desert on the way.
Yeah, that's it. So, are you going to do another sending? So many spell slots.
I will say I believe it will be useful for me to inform him of the, at least briefly of the you know what might be quicker?
Were you hoping to make use of me, Scholar?
There might be enough that needs to be said that that's probably a good idea. Unless, Nalia, did you think that we should have a conversation with Claire today?
No, I don't think we will need a conversation, especially if we can return tonight. Besides, it's already quite late there. She may have turned in. The time difference and all.
What time is it here?
It's moving toward sunset. And it's several hours behind Bromdor. Not nearly as far behind as when you were out at the, out at the ruin, and, you know, you had to contact her in the middle of the night, which was bright and early for her.
Mm-hmm.
But, and Nalia does not seem to think it would be necessary. Especially, it would not be necessary to use Ash for such a task. If there's any ought to be said, she would do ascending.
Okay. Why don't we have a short little conversation with Dusty?
Oh, that'll be fun.
Somebody bust out the stopwatch.
Yes, Ash, could you please get in touch with him?
Very well, Scholar. I will attempt to connect us now.
So ringing. Or is there just music? Is there music? Is there ringing?
Just the outside, the outer layer of glow around the orb begins to vibrate, and there's this weird warble. What is that? After a moment, the glow around Ash begins to balloon and grow in particular oblong shapes, eventually forming the head, neck, and shoulders of Dusty, rendered in golden light. And it floats in the room before you. And he has this very surprised expression on his face. And he demands, "What is this thing?" Wait a minute.
I realize that this might be...
oh god, it's talking!
Yes. This would be more efficient than using my spell slots to send to you.
Wizard?
Are you aware of... what? Yes. Are you aware of the state that the dragon has left the city in?
I am not, but I assume destroyed. There was no one there who could fight it.
There was a fight. She is gone now.
She was defeated?
No. Elsamonth showed up. And...
At this point, you see hands appear at the end of the chin, like, just the index fingers tapping against it.
And entreated Shasharan to join him up north. To see their big brother. I highly suggest that you reach out to the other cells as quickly as possible.
Elsamonth is awake. Elsamonth was here.
Yes.
This is going to take some time to process. We will do what we can to get in touch with other cells, but as I informed you before, we have necessarily cut off communication with other cells so that we could not be taken down one after another using information that was kept on one another. We are compartmentalized.
I'm sure you will find a way.
The gods help us if we don't. Is there anything else I should know about? Should I assume that the big brother is awake, then, if Elsamant was summoning her to him?
That at least seemed to be the implication, that there was going to be a meeting between them.
If Karasoth has risen, it may be too late. I wish you the best of luck, and I will get in touch with you if we find the scale. You will need it. On that note, whether or not I can find a way to contact the other cells, you should begin seeking out the other scales.
Do you have any knowledge that might be able to point us in the proper directions, or is the degree of separation between cells so strong?
Assuming that the scales were not moved after the ritual was performed, which is a very large assumption that I would not rely on. But we are hoping here. I can tell you at least that Elsamenth was supposed to be on the island in the middle of the inner sea. You could start there.
Very well. Thank you. Did Jebel want to chime in with his question, since
Yes.
we have made clear that people can, other people can talk through it and everything.
Am I in the room?
Are you?
Because it sounds like this would have been happening after the wall stuff, or am I wrong?
This is a continuation of the portion that Jebel missed from last session. So,
Alright.
Not yet,
Okay.
but soon. Jebel, did you have something you wanted to, or you were going to ask your question?
Yes. Yeah, and what was the name of that elf?
Oh, Bahamut, there's more of them.
Hi, Dusty.
Hello? I can't see you, but I assume it's the gnome.
Yeah.
I assume then that you refer to my former... You see the fingers return, making air quotes. Colleague, Radal.
Oh, no, I remember that name. Or I won't. I don't know.
I don't have any idea where he might be. He was a wizard. He could be anywhere in the world, or some other world, for all I know. Magic is potent, as you well know.
Yes.
I am sorry that he has offended you.
He stole my money.
Offended you deeply. But I do not think that, especially given my current assignment, be of great help to you.
Oh, that sand is the worst.
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
It's between my scales!
I don't have scales, but I know what you mean.
It burns. It burns my everything right now.
Getting in between your scales is the worst.
Sure, why not?
I don't know. I can come up with worse places to have sand.
Are we at 5, Sam?
I wasn't doing a stopwatch, but probably over 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as they're commiserating about sand and scales, it just goes blank, and Ash regains himself.
I feel like Kazanari is just gonna now hear just him endlessly complaining about sand because he got off on that, and now it's like, oh god damn it. The next like 3 days, and he's just like, and another thing.
Yes, sir. Of course. So, yes, Cyrus contributing that getting sand between scales sucks. You become aware that he has shown up with Vendar and the Tabaxi in tow. It was represented entirely by this image of a tiefling.
Basically the same thing.
I've lost my Tabaxi image somewhere among my files. I'm sad about it. So, they appear, and she seems to be sticking close to Vendar, like with an arm around his. And just says, "So, these are the rest of your friends."
Yeah, we're an interesting bunch.
Welcome back.
This one recalls meeting them very briefly the other night, but it would be lovely to be introduced, especially if this one wishes to make a request. You can help me with that, can't you, Vendar?
Of course. I'll introduce her to the group. Do I actually have to do that?
I am
Okay.
excited to know how you introduce each person.
Okay. Here's the little ones. We got Jebel and we got Cyrus.
Hello, little ones.
They do magic.
Cyrus has not yet been introduced.
I am just staring daggers at
we-
this man.
We got the slightly less little one, Leah, over there. She's getting bigger.
The second he turns away, double middle fingers.
I blink and look up. What do you mean bigger?
Growing is a formidable challenge of life. You are doing well, Leah.
And then we, of course, have the Dragonborn. Apparently Raiken isn't here right now, but here's Yukikaze.
Yukikaze, you still got a book in your hand?
No,
Oh,
I put it down.
Yeah, he's the good one.
there is a bad Dragonborn.
Well, we got a good one, we got an okay one.
Oh. Hello, good Dragonborn.
Hello.
And then, of course, the mages. We have Laramendus and
Nalia.
Nalia. I don't know how I forgot that.
Why
Happens
could
sometimes.
you just lump me in with the mages? I do magic.
A pleasure.
Well, yeah, so does Cyrus, so does Jebel, but you're little.
And that's my defining feature, not the effing dragon scales? Come on!
Likewise, a pleasure for this one as well. You may call this one Lynn. Normally, she makes her home here in Tuka. But as of today, there has been a grave attack by a scary dragon, and she was hoping that you might have a way for her to relocate, perhaps. It would be greatly appreciated. All the boats have sunk, so she cannot get out that way, but Vendar here has said that perhaps you can make a portal.
Isn't this the one who took the scale?
It...
Wait, what?
Lynn was to believe that that was sand beneath the sand now.
I never agreed to that. It's your
She was
reason
mis-
this entire thing happened.
It's not her fault. They would have found somebody. They tried to hire us.
That's true.
Yeah, and we were smart enough to say no.
That is not it at all. We were just in a hurry.
Yeah, we were too busy.
What if you had said yes and then not given the scale over? So by not saying yes, it is your fault that all of this happened.
Huh?
Now,
Can we help her out? Come on. Man.
Oh.
I do not believe that there is anywhere that I am capable of sending her that would work well. Also, that is an extremely expensive bit of magic.
Well, Vendar made the case that you would not be staying here long. Perhaps Lynn can just go where you go.
As I think to myself, can we really stop her? Not like I can see her.
Not if she doesn't want to be seen.
I don't know. I don't trust you.
Oh, and she's a friend.
Not a friend of
Jebel,
mine.
if Jebel's near her, he's gonna. She's got like sleeves.
She got like sleeves.
Or her arms bare.
I mean, her arms are partially bare. Like, I imagine that her outfit, the sleeves kind of come down to like just below the elbow, leaving the forearm bare.
And geez, how tall is she?
She is, I believe, about 5'8", but let me double check that. Boop, 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 ba-da, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, she's maybe 5'10", actually.
She's tall.
Yeah. All the tabaxi you've seen are larger than humans.
I'm gonna try and reach up to tug on her sleeve.
Okay. So you kind of like, you do a little hop and try to grab the fabric. She notices you regardless of whether or not you catch it. Let's move your token closer. Yes, can this one help you? Jebel?
Yeah. You're a thief.
I think that is unfair. I am an acquirer of important and sought-after goods from places where they may be difficult to obtain.
You're a good thief.
Liberate objects from their current ownership.
We've already done the smart words.
Sometimes they are just sitting in a room with lots of guards around them. That is not necessarily owned, it is just sitting.
Anywho, I'm looking for an elf. How far away is Armendis from us now?
Over there, he's 10, 15 feet.
Like, pulled her away, or?
No, Was Armendis always that far from her?
I mean, there's like the table here, but yes.
Okay, I suppose Armendis is close enough that he can hear me when I'm speaking.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna...
You can be speaking quietly if you'd like.
No, I'm just... So, I'm looking for someone, there's an elf, who took something from me, and if you help me get it back, I don't see why we couldn't. I think that'd go a long way to, endearing yourself to parts of the party, at least.
Why, little one,